Alright guys, Elmwood, Texas here, and today we have Steven showing us his Sylvan deck.
Okay, well, before I get into the deck profile, I have a lot of variants of the deck I've been working on. I have three versions. There's the monster heavy variant, which is the one you're going to be featured here. It's about 26 monsters and 14 spells. But there are other variants. There's it's considered the Nick Gibson Yang Zing variant, which is about 18 monsters and 22 spells, and it's a lot faster paced, but I find that to be a little bricky personally. It's good, but I don't know. I didn't really know the deck too well at that time, so if I play it now, I'd probably like it a lot more. And there's a standard like 22, 24 to 16 ratio. The reason why I play a lot of monsters, though, it is Rescue Cat Duelist inspired, but I also was playing the same deck beforehand. And it's just because this deck's built on your excavations, on what you put into the grave, so you really need to get that rolling. So I'll get into the deck so you can actually see some movement on camera.
Alright.
So we start with 3 Silver Hermitry. Hermitry's arguably the best card in the deck. He's a 27 beater. He's your plus engine. I play a lot of quick decks that draw fast, and I don't play Upstart in here, just letting y'all know that. Upstart's a great card. I don't want to draw. I want to be able to excavate and draw, and Hermitry lets me get draws off my excavation, so play to my strategy. And Hermitry is just amazing. I want to get him out first turn every time. I want to get at least 2 out first turn every single time. So yeah, he makes all your rank 8 plays too, so I love this card. Next up is the next 3 I play triple Sylvan Sage Koya. Sage Koya is amazing. I used to play this at 2 in my old variants, but in this version, Monster Heavy, I play 3. When he's excavated, you get to get a silver card from your graveyard to your hand. Not monster, spell from your deck to your hand. And also, whenever a Sylvan is sent to graveyard other than battle phase, you special summon him from your hand. So he lets you make all sorts of crazy combo plays in combination with Hermitry himself. I did forget to mention Hermitry when he's gone and excavated from the deck. You get to look at the top 3 cards, put them in order you want. So that does come in handy too. These two just combo together. This makes all your rank 7s. It's also a big, vital part of your synchro plays as well. So it's absolutely just a vital card. I needed at 3. Once I put it at 3, I saw Sylvan Charities a lot more added to my hand, which is something I was having an issue with in some of my older builds.
So essentially the third one made the deck a lot more consistent.
Yeah, to me it made it consistent. Like I really like it at 3. I don't see why I was running it at 2 now. Next card I play 3 of. This some people might say this is too much, but I like 3. It's Peacekeeper. Since Lone Blossom went to 3 in this recent ban list, Peacekeeper is really good because when he's excavated, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower plant and special summon it to the field. And since this deck's all about recursion with Lone Fire to get your plays going, the minute you get Lone Fire in, this just makes all sorts of ridiculous plays for you. You can stack this on top with a Hermitry, with a Sylvania while you have Hermitry, excavate it, get a Lone Fire, get a second Hermitry, and you're already thinning your deck out as well as getting massive excavations rolling. So, personally, I think Peacekeeper is really good. When he's normal summoning, he gets an excavation, but that's not really important. You don't really use it for that very often. But those are the 3 of Sylvans. We'd play 17. There's still more left. We have 2 Martial Leafs. I didn't really like this card at first when I first got into the deck because Destruction wasn't as powerful back then. But he's truly an MVP when he wants to be in multiple situations. You can stack him with Sylvania when you know your opponent has a big threat and just excavate him and get rid of it really quickly. He's actually good out to the gym lock. I don't play MSTs in this deck. I know it's a terrible sin, but I have a reason for that. I do side them, which I will show you. But this is a great way to get rid of Gym Lock and just overall monster destruction. I only play 1 monster destruction spell. And the reason I don't play MSTs in the deck is for his best friend Kumashimo. Kumashimo was inactivated. He destroys spell or trap on the field. So he is my deck-themed MST. People try to play him at 3 for a while. I think it's a little crazy. His flip effect is when he's excavated, you get to excavate. Whenever he's flipped, you get to excavate 5. You're not going to get that very often. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is too fast now. You're not really going to get that flip effect off very rarely, so I don't really use him for that. I do use Martial Leaf excavation when he's just normal summon. You get to excavate 2. That has helped a lot. I've opened a Bricky, and for some reason Martial Leaf tends to be a good out to that. So those are the level 3s and 2s. And then we get 2 Cherub Sprouts. This is controversial as well. Some people play 1, some people play none of it. I personally like Cherub Sprout. He lets me get my tuners out, so because when he's excavated, you get to add a level 1 plant from your deck to the field. So you can get your Glow Bulbs, your Rose Lovers, the next Sylvan I'll show you right here. All sorts of plays. Sometimes I'll go Cherub Sprout into himself, because when he's special summon, you get to excavate 2. 1 or 2 you get to call. And if you know what's coming, then he can just get your plays rolling really quickly here. He's a big part of my extra deck, actually. And then 2 Princess Sprout. Should always play 2 of her, no matter what. Whenever she's excavated, she gets to act as a level that you choose between 1 and 8. So she, along with your Hermitries and your Sage Koyas will act as a Xyz play, and she also acts as a great target for synchro plays. I don't play Michael the Arclight's one anymore, but whenever I did, this was really cool because it was light, so you could actually use it as a level 5 and tune it with something, and or 6, whatever you needed for tuner-wise. And whenever, you can actually tribute her to Excavate 1 as well, so that's pretty handy sometimes. I don't really use it that much, but you'd be surprised. But she's really great. And that's it for the Sylvan count. That's 17 Sylvans. Then we get to the last 10 monsters in the deck. 9 monsters in the deck. So, you can't play a plant deck now without Lone Fire Blossom. When he went to 3, the deck instantly improved. I was playing it with that 2 already. I like plant decks anyway. But when this went to 3, I had to go pick my third one up. Sorry, they're not the supers. I'm not going to drop 40. I'm not going to pay 120 for 3 cards. I'm not crazy. But yeah, Lone Fire is really good. Honestly, I really think Lone Fire is one of the craziest cards in the game. I mean, you just normal summon him, tribute him off, special summon any plant from your deck. Any plant, any attack points. It's kind of ridiculous. And he lets all your combo plays happen with all these cards. And you want to recur him as much as possible, so that's why we use Peacekeeper. And then we get one of the newer additions to the deck, Rose Lover. That's funny, addiction and lover. Rose Lover's really good. Whenever she's in the graveyard, you can banish her to special summon a plant from your hand. She just helps you get cards out of your hand that you want to get rid of. So sometimes you'll have maybe too many copies of Hermitry, or maybe you even have an extra Lone Fire and you can't do another normal summon. So she can help you get out of it. She does kind of suck to draw unless you can Sylvania her. And that's why I only play 2. At 3, she's a little too much for my taste. So I think at 2 she's perfectly fine. I would never play 1. I don't think. I think it's worth more than that. And then we get to the one-ofs. We get 1 Dandelion. Token's really good in this deck. He's just a good level 3, and sometimes I can make synchro plays with him. And overall, he's just an okay card. He just acts as a good filler. It's another plant to excavate. Spore. Love Spore to death. Spore is one of the best cards in the deck for a multitude of reasons. One, he's a tuner, level 1, that I can bring out with Cherub Sprout when I excavate him, which is really useful. I can use it for synchro plays, and I can use it for Xyz plays when he goes to grave. I can banish a Sage Koya to make him a level 8 and then make a rank 8 instantly, as well as I can make him just a high enough level to synchro to anything I want with. So Spore is really live in this deck. I gotta admit that. And then Glow Up Bulb. Glow Up Bulb's fantastic here. There's a amazing play with Sage Koya that gets you an instant level 10 synchro that just kills your opponents really quickly. I just like Glow Up Bulb a lot, and its recursion of its own is really useful. If it said Excavate, this card would be amazing, but it does not. It just says Sense the Graveyard whenever you bring it back from the graveyard, so it's not as good as it probably could be, but it's still a really good card. And then the last 2 monsters I play, I'm still playing the 2 Curry Bandit build. I know people kind of shied away from this. I tried Flowerbot for a bit from the All-Stars pack. It was okay, but I felt like it attributed to brickier hands. I never really loved it that much. Like, maybe once or twice helped me go off floor more than I could, but it just wasn't as good. And Curry Bandit, I mean, if you have nothing and you know you have monsters on top of your deck, this will get you what you need. The amount of times I've milled off like a Raigeki and a Sylvania, but also getting a Sage Koya to grave, has let me get back both my spells is just amazing. So I really do like Curry Bandit. I will agree that he's a little slow. And maybe in the current OTK formats where it's a lot faster, he may not be as good. But, I mean, when you have a board already and you can just special summon him, you can just normal summon him and then do what you got to do, you can still get your excavations and get rolling really quickly. And on top of that, if you're to open well with Sylvan's first hand, you're probably not going to win anyway. You need to open as good as possible, and this will get you there. And the great thing about Sylvans is they push cards down the deck because, you know, they stack. That's the deck theme. So you can just keep pushing this down if you don't need it. And that's it for the monsters. 26. So we'll get to spells. We start with one of the best spells in the deck, 3 Sylvan Charities. Charity is a stupid card, honestly. It's probably one of my favorite cards ever. It's Graceful Charity. You draw 3 and you put 2 on top of your deck from your hand, as long as one's a Sylvan. So this lets you stack your deck whatever order you want, depending on what you drew, and you can just go off on all sorts of combo plays. The amount of times you'll combo with Hermitry, it's an instant draw with Hermitry, so it's +1. All sorts of crazy crap with Charity. This just lets you extend plays further than you probably should be able to as a player. And then I play 3 Sylvania. I was playing 2 and Terraforming for a while, but Terraforming, it became dead, and at a tournament I played recently, I would always draw into both my fields would get popped and I'd have a dead Terraforming in hand. So I didn't like it. I said, I'm just going to put all 3 back in. I go to the deck fast enough anyway. So Sylvania is just great because you can pitch a Sylvan or any plant to put a Sylvan on top of the deck. So this gets all your combo pieces rolling. If you get this out with the Hermitry first turn, you're going to get some crazy plays going really fast here. And the ability to excavate on your end of your opponent's end phase is great, especially like I said, if you stack with your Martial Leafs and your Kumashumos, you get a lot of great plays rolling. And then next, 3 Miracle Fertilizers. This card is insane. I have a lot of friends who hate this card. I bait out so many people with Fertilizer. If you know what it does, you play it on the field, and you can special summon any plant from your graveyard. And if it's destroyed, so is this card. So that's a little unfortunate, but take into account that this card stacks. So if you have 2 on the field, you can special summon 2. You can do it again next turn. So this just lets you get all sorts of plays. When you start comboing into like the ridiculous plays that Sylvans make, because in my opinion, Sylvans are meant to make a board that are just unbreakable. This attributes to that, and when you draw into them off Hermitries and just rip them at the right time, it can win you so many games. And it's like I said, it's good for bait. If they're destroying this and not worrying about other cards in the field, then you're winning. And that's it for the 3 ofs. We don't play 4 1-ofs. 1 Foolish, because why not? Send your Hermitries early to Miracle Fertilize them back, or Soul Charge plays. And your Glow Bulbs and your Tuners. 1 for 1. I know a lot of people don't play this, but I still like 1 for 1. Just being able to bring out the Shrub Sprout for an Excavation of 2, Glow Bulb, Spore. 1 Raigeki. You want to clear board to OTK as soon as possible, so this is the great way to do it. And Soul Charge, because if you open Lone Fire or Soul Charge, you're going to win the game. That's just the truth. It's way too much now. And that's it for the main deck, 40 cards. So I'll jump to the extra real quick here. There's 1 card I am missing, but I'll tell you what it is in a minute. I play 1 Formula Synchron. I make this a lot. This is my one exception to the rule, like Upstart. Or I know I don't like Upstart, I don't like to draw. Formula's really good because it lets me make combo pieces live. So I don't mind ripping 1 draw. I just don't see the use of playing multiple in this particular variant. 1 Armory Arm. This card is awesome. I've won so many duels with this. I didn't use to play level 4s in this deck, and then once I added Martial Leaf in here, this in level 1 tuners is just amazing. Putting this on a Draco Sack to put it at 4,000 or so. At 3,000, yeah, 4,000, yeah, 4,000. 4,000 is fun. No, not 4,000, 36, my bad, 36. This card's just great. Putting out Felgran, anything that's big. 1 Armides. This is for Shadalls. My buddy Tim knows all about this card. It's great. And then I play 2 level 7s. 1 Black Rose to clear board. Normally, what I'll do for Black Rose, I don't normally summon on my turn. I'll summon this and leave it out, and my opponent starts going off. I'll just make Black Rose on their turn because of Formula's effect and nuke their board before anything gets rolling really fast. So that's why I like Black Rose. And since I'm playing a plant deck, his other effect is viable in here. I just don't use it very often. 1 Clearwing Synchro Dragon, the new card, the new bad boy to the list. Clearwing is insane. This could be an MVP without even trying. I haven't won this card since I first heard about it, so I'm very happy to have this now. It's just the ability to negate anything level 5 or higher makes it really good against meta like Necros, kill Shadalls, and the fact that it gains its attack points to swing over or pretty much anything is virtually stupid. Let's face it, it's pretty stupid. So I love it. I play 1 Stardust, just regular Stardust. Stardust is my favorite card ever, so I'm going to play it pretty much in every deck that I can. And also, now that you see that I play Stardust and Shooting Star, you can pretty much tell I play Shooting Star as well. Stardust is really good because you can make this, and one of the Xyzs I'll show you, pretty much get an unbreakable board. And then I play 1 Shooting Star because this puts so much pressure on your opponent. You don't have to use its Excavation effect, so you can at least get 1 attack. You don't have to use it, but if you do and you get 0, then of course you're not going to be able to attack that turn. Just putting this on board, people won't attack you, and they'll just let you live there with big monsters. It's just a big pressure cooker on top of other cards you have in the deck. 1 Star Eater because I can make it. It's not hard at all. Sage Koi or Hermitry with the Spore, with banishing a Martial Leaf or Kumashrumo, it's a Star Eater. It's just fun if I really want to go for a game. And that's it for the Synchros, and then we play the Xyzs. I play 1 number 11 Big Eye. Big Eye, I mean, it's rank 7, so why wouldn't you play Big Eye? Just being able to steal cards is very good. 1 Draco Sack. I have 1 game just sitting on him and using his tokens to my advantage, and then syncing up to make Armory Arms to make him bigger. So, pretty good card. It's a really good card. I used to hate this card, so it is really good still. Araya, I make her a lot. I didn't used to, but this card's crazy. You can discard a spell or tribute one of your spells from the, discard a plant or tribute one of your plants from your field and look at that many cards top of your deck with the same star levels. So you can, like, in theory, banish a Hermit-Tree to make Spore level 9, and then tribute the Spore, and look at the top 9 cards of your deck, put them in any order you want, and you can call 1 through 3, and then you can send cards to the field, back to the hand, up to the number of plants you excavated. So you can get like crazy combo plays with her. So amazing. And those are the only level 7s I run. As for 8s, I run Alsei. I like Alsei. People don't love him, but I think he's really good still. At 3200 ass is nothing to sneeze at. And he just puts pressure because like he's a big card, and they can't even swing over with Star Eater. They have to make really big creatures to swing over him. So that's pretty good. And its bounce effect is really nice as well. These two together on board makes really crazy plays. The one thing I do like about Aurea is she lets you bounce back your own spells. You can bounce back fertilizers. Also, you can bounce stuff back to the bottom of the deck, so he gets rid of problem cards. For now, I'm playing Heliopolis. It's a really good card, and it's out to certain cards because it doesn't target whenever you destroy stuff. But I'm gonna cut this most likely for a Stardust Spark Dragon when I get it in. So, Spark and Stardust is really great to have in this deck. And then the last 2 8s I play are double Divine Dragon at Felgrand. Thank you, Amador. Felgrand is amazing. Double Felgrand is just so easy to pull off in this deck, and it pretty much just puts way too much pressure on your opponent. They just can't destroy anything, and that's also why I play Stardust and I play Spark as well, because if you can open with a Felgrand and a Stardust variation, your opponent is scared. Open this against Dolls, and they will just crap themselves because they can't Construct because Stardust will kill it, and they can't swing over because its effect's going to go off, and it's just really great, this combo piece right here. Tim knows all about that. And that's it for the extra deck, 15. And we'll get to my side here real quick. 2 tokens, just why not. Double Flying Sea, a lot of Xyz in the area. Amador is a jerk and he plays Tellers, so this is my out to him.
So you think?
Puppet Plant. Puppet Plant's really good against Shaddolls, and for some reason, I always seem to play the Shaddol players in town, so I gotta put Puppet Plants in there. Spells, I play 3 MST, because I don't play any in the main deck because I have Kumashrumo, but there are certain matchups where I want to have spells, like when I play a Teller, Yosenju, somebody that just plays a lot of Floodgates. Double Mind Drain. This is for Necros. Necros isn't that big in our area, so it is in one of the locals we play at. So this is just good against them and doesn't really bother me at all. 2 Mirror Force. I used to use Wall of Thorns as well, I just don't have room anymore. And I do have room for a Veiler, I just forgot to put it in, but it's all fine. 2 Trio, I'd probably cut these for the Veiler. BA is kind of dying, so it's not as good as it once was, but this was really amazing against BA at one time. And 2 Decrees, I know why I'm not playing 3. I love this card because what it does, but I hate drawing it, because I always seem to draw it in the worst time possible. So that's one reason I don't play it that much. It's just there on my side. And I'll flash the deck again real quick. But yeah, that's my Sylvan build. It's pretty consistent, honestly. It's a very, very good deck. I think this deck always has potential to be very dangerous in the meta because it's very underrated, and most people don't see Sylvans coming. And yeah, it can be stopped by a lot of the typical Floodgates you see now, but so can every deck. So why not play giant plants that can just make unbreakable boards, right?
Yeah. As far as Cross Souls go, was there any card that you wanted to add to the deck that you would utilize? Such as, I know you have MSTs and of course Shrumo, but would you ever think about using like Galaxy Cyclone perhaps? Because you already do establish a board as is.
I do like Cyclone a lot, and I could see myself using it because excavations are really good in here. And yeah, I don't want to excavate spells, but it's a spell I could use again, so it's definitely good. I like Cross Souls. That was a really good set. The one card I really wanted though was Clearwing, and I got him, so I was very happy with that. As far as some other stuff in the deck, Yuki Usagi wouldn't work in here as much as I really like, or Ghost Ogre, my bad. Really like that card a lot, but wouldn't really work in here. I can't really see lose 1 turn work well in this deck because I special summon so much that it would probably kill me.
How about, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you here, but so we all know your deck experts a lot and brings back a lot. I know most Yang Zine players are actually running Jar of Avarice. Would you use that?
I don't see why. I like to test it. I don't own any at the moment. If I did, I mean, I like testing multiple variants of decks, so I could definitely see that being good. I know in Junked Up I like to use like Polydichotomy and stuff, so I don't see why Avarice would be a bad card in here, especially when you have an established board, which is pretty much every time. This deck is very good against just certain matchups. I beat a lot of Necros players with this, purely because they'll make a big board, and then I'll strike back with my own, and then they'll have to force all the resources to get rid of it, and I'll just do it again.
Yes.
And it's just completely bringing back their board, and they just get overwhelmed And so that's why I like this against the meta matchups here. Against Tellers is probably the hardest match, to be fair, purely because they play so many traps. But we have stuff like Rose Lover, which can bring out your Hermitry, and you can swing freely that turn. And that's why we play stuff like Felgrand and Shooting Star, so you can't use certain cards. Cliff Forts, we're pretty even, I think, sometimes. It depends. If they make a really big board and they use their little like lose one turns and stuff, then I'm gonna be in trouble. But if without that, it's actually not bad. I can swing over. One thing that makes the deck really good is its ability. Even Shaddoll's, like, I think this is a great matchup against Shaddoll's, because I can go into my extra deck anytime, but I don't always have to. This is strong. These two are strong enough to swing over pretty much every Shaddol except for a Construct. So if you get rid of their board and just make a Felgrand, you'll find even Wind is really bad against this deck because you can just Lone Fire, Special Summon, swing. So yeah, that as far as meta goes, it's really good. And Cross Souls, like I said, there's a couple of cards in there, but nothing I can overly use in here except for Clearwing. Anything else?
No. So that's everything you've covered so far on the deck, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. I might maybe make other variants, maybe profile that one day, but for now I'm sticking to this. I highly suggest this version. It's fun to play, and yeah, man, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your deck with us, Steven.
Yep, thanks. Welcome.